Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. And yeah, let's talk about what's happening right now. As you can see, Cardano again reacted to the 50% extension right here, and we are getting a bounce. However, this is not a huge bounce. Now, the next target right now would be between 94 cents and $1.01. Now, I don't know if that will happen or not. It's really hard to say because we are still at the bull market support band right now, and we could always get another low. We could always hit the 0.618 support level first before we continue. If we actually continue, if you remember what I said in my previous couple of videos, this sideways price action might actually continue until the end of March. And why is that? Well, because of Bitcoin dominance. If you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart right now, it's just doing absolutely nothing. However, it is above 60%, and as you can see, we actually bounced off the resistance level of the previous all-time high, the 0.618 resistance level, and maybe the top is in. I cannot confirm that right now. To confirm that the top is in, we would need a break below the bull market support band, and right now we are still sitting above it, so it's really hard to say what will happen next. Keep in mind, we are still in QT, which means that the Bitcoin dominance chart could continue going higher, and if that happens, then we could get another cycle high by the end of March. And why the end of March? Well, because in the previous two cycles, that's when the real altcoin season started. Now, of course, in 2021, for example, the altcoin season actually started, right here. And we started dropping pretty much in the beginning of March, and as you can see, we dropped like every single day, and we closed a red wick every single day. Right now, that's not really the case. We are still closing green wicks, and maybe we are somewhere up here right now. I'm not sure. What you need to know is that it could take a couple of weeks until something major happens, but keep in mind, whenever Bitcoin dominance starts breaking down, it breaks down, and trust me, you're not gonna have time to react to this. If this actually starts, and if we get a huge move to the downside on the Bitcoin dominance chart, you will feel it, and all of the altcoins that you have right now will feel it as well. Now, like I said, here we started the altcoin season at the end of March, and in the previous cycle we actually started it at the end of February. As you can see, we were going up in January, and then in February we hit a new local top. Then we got rejected by the bull market support band, and that's when the altcoin season started. It pretty much started on November 28th, and yeah, we went below the bull market support band, like I said, and Bitcoin dominance dropped quite a lot, and it dropped until May. Now, why is this important? Well, because after that, we actually went up until, let's say July, and then we started going down again, and this happens every single cycle. Here in the 2021 cycle, we also did something very similar. We dropped until May, and then we got, another, let's say, local top, even though this is not a top, but we got a bounce, in May, and we went up until July, and then we went down again. So it's likely that we go down until May. I think this move to the downside will start at some point, like I said, let's say by the end of March, so we should start it by then, and then we should go down until May, and then we should get some kind of bounce in July, and then another low by the end of the year, because this has happened every single cycle so far. Now let's go back to the Cardano chart. Let's see what Cardano is doing. If you look at the daily chart, it's still looking very, very good. As you can see, the daily RSI got to the oversold territory here. I've talked about this multiple times. When Cardano got to the oversold territory of the daily chart last time, it was down here, and it was at about 27 cents. Right now, we got to the oversold territory at about 51 cents. So that's obviously very bullish, but keep in mind, this could continue, and I've been talking about this scenario for some time now. I did tell you that we are pretty much down here, not from a 4-year cycle point of view, but from a structure point of view. As you can see here, we were in an uptrend for quite a long time. We tested this trend line like 5 times, and when we tested it for the 5th time, or actually the 6th time right here, we got above it, and right now we only tested it for like 4 times. And yeah, I mean, this move to the upside right here, this 1-2 setup looks similar to this 1-2 setup. Like I said, not from a 4-year cycle point of view, just from a cycle, well, actually just from a structure point of view. And if we are down here, I mean, this move was also pretty impulsive, and as you can see, during that time we also had a cross on the bull market support band, and the red line of the bull market support band went above the green line, and after that we did not put another low after this low right here. However, we pretty much did nothing for a couple of weeks, and actually I think this move took like 46 days, and then at some point, after like a month or so after the cross, well actually almost a month and a half after the cross, we started going up again and we got above the bull market support band, and then we had another cross. So right now, if we want to, turn bullish, at least in the short term, we have to get another cross on the bull market support band, and this usually takes time. This usually takes about at least 30 to 40 days, so we could be looking at some boring price action for the next couple of weeks, but that should not worry you, because like I said here, even though we had a cross, Cardano did not really drop again, after that, so it is at least possible that we do not get another low. However, it's also possible that we go sideways, and this would make sense considering the fact that I'm expecting Bitcoin dominance to actually drop in March. But it could also drop next week. We'll see what happens. I mean, what's happening right now is very important because, even Ethereum is not really doing anything, and this is very, very unusual because usually Ethereum goes up in January and, February of the post-halving year. So far, it has not gone up too much, so we'll see what happens with this. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of months, because if Ethereum cannot go up in the next couple of months, we could be looking at a very weak altcoin season. However, I don't think that will be the case. I think Ethereum will wake up at some point and it will surprise everyone. And of course, Ethereum is not doing anything. At the end of the day, Bitcoin dominance is still at cycle highs right now, so you cannot expect Ethereum to be at all-time highs as well. It would not make sense. Now, if we look at where Ethereum was exactly 4 years ago in February, it was actually at about, let's say, $2,000. So we are still not doing too bad. Right now, we are pretty much at $2,600. And I think it's still okay, but we have to start a third wave at some point. Now, we already have a 1-2 setup of this third wave, so we are watching for the third wave of the third wave. And the target for that is like $8,000. I'm still expecting Ethereum to top somewhere between, let's say $7,800 and even $12,000. However, in the previous cycle, Ethereum actually got to the 3.618 trend-based Fibonacci extension of the previous all-time high and the bear market low. I'm not saying that we will do the exact same thing again, but if we do, that could put us even at $18,000. Now, I think that's a bit too unrealistic, to be honest, because, right now, Ethereum already has a huge market cap, but I could see $10,000 happening in this cycle, and by this cycle, I mean the end of the year. We will most likely get a top by the end of the year, and I think we will get one even if we do not really go up that much on the Ethereum chart. I still think that we will hit a new all-time high no matter what, even if we do not get to these, targets right here, and we should be fine. Now, why am I talking about Ethereum in a Cardano video? Well, because Cardano is not really doing anything, and there's nothing to talk about. I could also talk about the weekly RSI for a second. If you look at the Cardano RSI, we have cooled off quite a lot. Here, when we were at above, let's say $1.31, Cardano was extremely overbought on the weekly chart. It was at an RSI of like 85, and now we have cooled off and the RSI is at like 52 and the price is at like 80 cents. And even though we're like 50 cents away from this high right here, the RSI is extremely low. Matter of fact, it's so low, it's actually close to the RSI levels that it was right here when Cardano was ranging between 27 cents and 40 cents. So the price has doubled, but the RSI is almost the same, which is actually very, very good. And this is actually very, very bullish, at least if you judge this chart based on what we'll do in the long term. Of course, if it does not go up like 5x in the short term, that's not gonna be bearish because I'm still expecting it to be at all-time highs by the end of May. I've been talking about this for many months now, and no, I'm not going to change that prediction. My prediction will stay the exact same. The third wave will end by the end of May. Then we will get a fourth wave in the summer and a fifth wave. Maybe we will get a fifth wave, I'm not sure. Keep in mind, in the previous cycle, some altcoins did not get a fifth wave. Now Cardano did right here, so maybe we'll do the exact same thing again. But I cannot confirm that, and I definitely, I don't want to, give you financial advice because this is not financial advice, but I definitely, at least suggest that you at least get rid of some of your altcoins when we get at this top right here, because some of them will not recover and some of them will just go straight into the bear market after the top right here. And like I said, that could happen with Cardano as well, so it's not immune and you have to be aware of that. And I mean, Cardano is still looking very good. If you look at the monthly chart, if you look at the RSI is barely at 56. We are still above the moving average on the RSI. So this is still good. I don't really understand why people are complaining. Also, keep in mind down here, when we had, this move to the downside, this took about 3 months. And right now we are in a third month, which means that we should start a bounce in March, in my opinion. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I'm not really sure right now, but like I said, the end of March should start an altcoin season, so it would make perfect sense if we did start going up in March. But at this point, who knows? And, Cardano is still doing fine. There's nothing to complain about, at least not right now. But if we are not at all-time highs by the end of May, then yes, you are going to have to start, at least complaining about the chart or even worrying about it, because, yeah, we should be at all-time highs by then. But if we are not, then there's honestly not too much to say about this chart. I mean, it has been doing the same thing every single day in the past couple of months now. And yeah, it's pretty boring, I know. It pretty much feels like what it felt like down here, and yeah, it's really hard to talk about something right now, but like I said, if we get a bounce right now, we should get to above $1 at least, so we'll see if that happens or not. That's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.